Hello again everyone, it's Liam from Gaming Master Race here and welcome to April's pickup videos. There's not many to get through, so we're going to jump straight in with the Super Nintendo. What we've got to start off with is not something that's not very exciting. It's Virtual Soccer. This is a kind of 3D football game, quite nice visually, but it's your bog standard kind of, you know, football game. I mean, it's made by Hudson Soft, normally known for the Bomberman franchise. You know, as I always say with football games, it's football. We're not really much to talk about, to be perfectly honest. But looking forward to playing this a little bit more. So with Virtua Soccer, I only paid £4 for this. As always, I'll kind of go through how much it cost me and what you would be expecting to pay. So yeah, only £4 for that. Not terrible. So it's kind of like one of those games that pretty much everyone owned at some stage, you know, during their life. Next up, we've got Pinball Fantasies. Now, I love a good pinball game, me. A big pinball fan. And I do remember playing this when it was first out. I think I remember playing this on the Amiga as well, actually. But, yeah, I think I only rented this from Blockbuster on the Super Nintendo back when I was a kid. But I do remember there's kind of 4 pinball tables for you to choose from. There's like a carnival, a game show, and it escapes me what the other 2 are, but there's some video playing anyway, so you might be able to see. With Pinball Fantasies, though, I actually paid £9 for this one. A little bit more expensive, but you kind of pay for what you get, I guess, and looking forward to playing this one as well, a bit more than what I already have. So the videos you're seeing at the minute were actually captured on an emulator, unfortunately, because I've packed my Super Nintendo away. I say I've packed it away, so let me clarify that. I've actually disconnected it, so it's now just on show, because I've purchased the Analogue Super NT and the Analogue NT Mini Noir, and they are 2 FPGA consoles which pretty much allow you to play Super Nintendo games and NES games with near perfect accuracy. And it's not arrived yet. Today is Monday and it arrives on Thursday, so I've disconnected my SNES and my NES in preparation for it. So the SNES games I'm actually recording on emulation, I'm afraid. But the next one up we've got is Desert Fighter, as you'll see here. This is kind of like it kind of reminds me of Desert Strike, actually, but I don't know, visually it's a bit, I'd say it's probably a bit more pleasing. There's a little bit more to it. There's a lot more to it. Before I could even get into this game, I had to go through this whole setup that I didn't even know what I was doing. I think I was selecting weapons and having some kind of communique with like a commander or something. I'm not really too sure, but it took me ages to actually get in the game and actually fly down planes. So kind of interesting though. I look forward to getting into that a bit more. So yeah, I mean, this one set me back £5.50. Again, all the prices are for the game itself and not including delivery, so looking forward to that a bit more. Finally, for the Super Nintendo, we've got Syndicate. It's a Bullfrog title. I'm a huge fan of Bullfrog, love Theme Park. I haven't played Magic Carpet yet, but I'm a huge theme fan, I guess. Theme Park, Theme Hospital, Theme Park World, some of their better known titles. But yeah, this one's a bit weird. I didn't really know what to expect. I thought it was maybe some kind of like city building game or something. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but it's kind of like a cooperative kind of like strategy war game, I guess. I mean, you've got a team of 4 and you're controlling all of them. I don't know if you can select between them, because I really haven't kind of played this that much. I literally played it for about 4 or 5 minutes and then stopped, just so I can get some capture footage for this video. But yeah, I mean, a friend of mine swears by this and the sequel, so I'm looking forward to playing this more as well. With Syndicate, I actually paid this one I paid £9 for, slightly more. But again, I think it's quite a sought after game, you know, quite well reviewed, quite well rated, so I guess it's a must have. So I guess that's why the price is a little bit more expensive. Moving on to something that died and got resurrected very, very quickly, we're going on to PS Vita. And yeah, I'm not going to lie, I bought these games in kind of like a panic. You know, when PlayStation announced that they were going to close the Vita store, I thought, well, I better get, you know, some of these games before they skyrocket. So the first one I got really was Reality Fighters. This game actually only set me back £8.50, but do you know what? I mean, I can't show you any footage for this because it's impossible for me to currently capture it, because the PlayStation TV has DHC. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's It's not DHCP, because that's an IT term. But yeah, it's got some kind of encryption anyway, in which I can't record the footage, so very unfortunate. But it's so cool. I mean, I actually really like this game. So basically, the first thing you do is take a picture of your face, and then it puts it onto the character model here. And then you kind of, it's kind of like a Virtua, not a Virtua Fighter, I guess kind of like a Tekken / Virtua Fighter game, where you just pretty much just take on other opponents, which are like boxers or karate masters and stuff. And Mr. Miyagi's in the game as well. He's like the guy who does all the tutorials, and I guess you fight him at some stage as well. But it's really cool to kind of like just have your face in the game and just play as yourself, and you even get to record like taunts as well. So before the match starts, you can say something, and when you win, you can say something. It's really quite good, and it's quite a good little game. So I definitely recommend picking this one up. I mean, as I say, I paid £8.50 for this, but you could probably get it less. You never know. It's a worthy little pickup, that one. Secondly, on the PS Vita, and finally on the PS Vita, we've got Mod Nation Races Road Trip. Now, this is an unsung hero for me. I really enjoyed Mod Nation Races on the PlayStation 3. I absolutely loved creating my own tracks, and I loved sharing them. I loved downloading people's tracks as well, because they would be creating tracks from Super Mario Kart or Sonic and the Sega All-Stars Racing and such. And you know, it's really refreshing to have a game like this, and nobody's ever done it since. You know, like into this kind of scale anyway. And it's a game that I sorely miss, and you know, I picked this one up and you know, played it on my PS Vita for a little bit. I've played about 5 minutes of this, and obviously it's not completely different, but you know, in terms of its visuals and you know, its fluidness, I guess is probably the right term, but you know, it doesn't run at 60 frames per second, it runs at 30, so it's not as smooth as the PlayStation 3 version, which is to be expected because it is on a handheld system. But it's such a good little game. Again, it's got pretty much the same kind of creativity tools, from building your own racer to building your own tracks. And you know, back in the day when it was first out, you could share them and download other people's. Again, you know, there really wasn't much limitations as compared to the PlayStation 3 version, except this was portable, and it's just such a shame that those servers aren't live now so that I can download other people's creations. But yeah, it's a top-notch game, and it's certainly one that I feel that rivals Mario Kart, you know, because the controls are very kind of similar, and drifting is very easy to pick up, and it's, you know, it's one of those games that's so easy to pick up and play and learn and master even. But when you start playing online with other people, that's where it gets really competitive, and it's just, again, such a shame that it's just not live anymore. But it's a great little game anyway, if you want to give your creativity a go on creating some tracks and then playing them out. It's good fun. We've got Xbox One now. I guess what it is. So it's Resident Evil 5. Now, I did buy this already on Xbox 360, but when I purchased the Xbox 360 version, I didn't know there was a separate Xbox One version. And the Xbox One version runs smoother and looks a little bit better, and it includes all the DLC. So yeah, a little bit premature in buying them, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, you know, as a collector, you kind of aim to collect games anyway and just play them on all systems and all different experiences. Resident Evil 5 cost me $14.99. I actually got this one from Amazon. Every other game I've had so far have been from private sellers, and every other game from this moment onwards, well, not from this moment onwards, but from after this, will be from private sellers as well. So I've already played and completed Resident Evil 5. And my thoughts are that it's a decent game. It's not as good as Resident Evil 4, and it's certainly nowhere near as good as Resident Evil 3 or 2 Remake. But it's still a decent game, and it's certainly not one that I would say was terrible or, you know, a huge departure away from the other Resident Evil games. But for some reason it did get quite a bad rap, and I don't really know why, because I actually really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to playing Resident Evil 6. Now, from last month's video you saw that I bought that on Xbox 360, but I will be buying that one again as well on Xbox One, so that I can play it in its best form, I guess is probably the best way to put that. But yeah, no, this was a really decent game. It wasn't very long. I think I did it in about 16 maybe 16 to 17 hours. I haven't played any of the DLC yet, but I actually got to play some of this with a pal of mine, James, who is Miller's TV, who has his own YouTube channel and uploads videos from time to time. Really good bloke. So yeah, actually got to play that a little bit with him, and yeah, cooperatively it's much better to play with somebody rather than playing with the AI. So yeah, if you're going to play that, play with a pal. So we're going on to the Sega Mega Drive now, and this is the last of them. We've got Vector Man to start off with. So I'm really gutted with this one actually, because Geordie Slasher Gaming actually just posted that he just recently picked this one up too, and I think he paid a ridiculous price for it. I think it was like £7 compared to what I paid, which was £21.18. And you know, and with my one, the tag at the top is gone. You know, it's not in bad condition. Don't get me wrong. You know, the manual's in pretty decent nick, and the cart itself is okay. You know, there's no real damage to the label. I would say, but you know, if I could get this game for £7 odd, then yeah, I would. But you know, I've paid £21 for this. So I'm a little bit gutted. I was all right until I saw Geordie Slash's video, and where he said that he got it for like £7. But I mean, I've had a little go of it, and it's a decent little game, decent little platformer. It's something that I will definitely play some more. Just got to give myself some time to really get through it. But so far, it's not a bad little title. So quite happy with having that one in my collection. A game that I kind of saw on one of those virtual game libraries, like I said, when I've watched the entirety of these virtual gaming libraries, this is kind of one that intrigued me a little bit. It was called Last Battle. Now, I mean, it's an early Mega Drive title, and I do like early Mega Drive titles because I do like this, the old kind of the old covers and the old logo, and this grid here. It's really nostalgic, and this is a really cool little cover as well. It kind of so I'm just some guy just smashing some bloke in the face. But when I actually played this game, it had a kind of Altered Beast kind of feel to it. And that's what I really like about these older titles as well. As you can see from the video footage, it kind of just gives me this Altered Beast vibe. And yeah, it's just one of those games again that I kind of wanted in my collection. And I only paid £6 for this, so quite happy with that one. Again, these are all mostly buy it nows. You know, I don't really do too many auctions, and I know that if I did try auctions, I probably would get it less. But I worry that I'm going to pay more than a buy it now price, so I kind of just go for the buy it now. But it's so far what I've played, it's really good, but it's quite tough when you get to a boss. I'm pretty much done, but when you're actually playing through the levels, it's a good little game. So yes, another one to recommend, that one. Now this one I'm really pleased to have in my collection, and I really don't care how much I paid for it, because this is a game that a friend of mine had a long time ago, and I've wanted it ever since, and I've never owned it, but now I do. It's Predator 2. So yeah, I mean, this is one of those games that I've been kind of umming and ahhing about for a really long time. So I'm just going to reposition myself. I'm kind of sitting in an awkward angle. So yeah, so I'm really pleased to have this in my collection now. And yeah, I was umming and ahhing for quite a long time because it's quite an expensive game. So I paid £19 for this, not as much as I paid for Vector Man, but this is definitely more worth it in my opinion. It's got a cracking little soundtrack. It's got some decent looking graphics. You know, it's kind of like an isometric platformer, like isometric bird's eye view platformer, in which you go around busting criminals, collecting drugs from them, and saving hostages before the Predator can get to them. So every now and then you'll see these like 3 dots on the screen, and yeah, you have to get to the hostages before the Predator kills them. So yeah, I was really pleased to have that in my collection. And again, to pay £19 wasn't the worst. I mean, the case could be in better condition. You can see that some of the plastic is coming away there, but again, not really a big deal considering I could potentially get a replacement case for it. You know, the most important thing that there's no real tears to the actual cover itself, just a really small one there, and the instruction manual and cartridge in good condition, and it's just a cracking little game, so really happy with that one. Okay, so next up we've got Clacks. Now, I think a friend of mine actually was a huge fan of this game, and I couldn't really understand why, because I'm not really a huge puzzle game fan, but when I first put this into I do have Mega Drives, but I actually use a Sega Mega SG, and the footage that you're seeing was recorded on the Analogue Mega SG. You know, it's a little puzzle game, and you have these little blocks coming towards you, and you have to match them up and create diagonals, and I think you have to match 3 in a row to destroy them. Kind of similar to a lot of puzzle games, but it does have its own twist. You can stack when they're coming towards you. You've got this little platform in which the blocks kind of stack on. You can save them up for a little bit, and there's quite a lot of strategy to it. And yeah, I can see what he saw in it. You know, it's a really fun little puzzle game, and Clacks set me back £5. So yeah, I can't really complain about that, because I thought that was quite a decent purchase. You know, and it's in good condition. So I'm really not I'm not going to moan about that at all. It's a really good addition to the library, that there. Finally, it's kind of a anticlimax, really, to be honest with you. There's not really a game that, you know, is very rare or anything like that, but it's Super Monaco GP2, and it's just one of the games that was on my wish list that I think that graphically looked pretty cool, and I just wanted to give it a go. And yeah, I've had a really small go of it, and you know, it's actually quite easy, to be perfectly honest with you. I find that I can hold down the accelerator and just go. You know, I don't really have to brake too much or you know, release the accelerator and take turns. It's like, yeah, I find that I can just pretty much hold down the accelerator the entire time. But graphically, it's okay. You know, it's good for its time. Again, it's an old one. It's like one of the earlier ones before the Blue Label games. It's got quite nice artwork, and it's a pretty decent game. It's a good laugh. It's only one player though, quite interestingly, but that's not a big deal because I play most of my games single player anyway. This one set me back £5.50. And yeah, again, it's just one of those ones that I just wanted to add to the collection because it's not expensive, and I thought, well, I might as well go for it. And that's it. That is all there is this month. And I say the reason being is because of the Analogue products that came out, the Analogue Super NT and the NT Mini Noir. They were expensive. I think collectively they've probably set me back about £500, not including shipping, which was £50, I think, and the import tax is going to be about £140. So yeah, I've had to put my money aside for them. But I'm going to do a little separate video on that because I want you guys to see what they are, because they're so cool. And I've been looking forward so much for the Super NT, and the NT Mini Noir just kind of sprung up out of nowhere because they were supposed to be discontinued and retired products, and they had one final run. And I thought, well, if I don't get it now, I'm going to regret it later. So that is it for this month. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next collection.